Welcome to an experience powered by Pipe TV.
Powered by Pipe TV.
Hi, you're watching Pipe TV, and I'm Jill Foster. Today we have founder and freelance photographer Elizabeth Martin of Elizabeth Martin Photography. Hi, Liz.
Hi, Jill.
How are you?
I'm great. Glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here finally. We've been trying to get you in the seat for a while now.
Well, you know.
So, welcome. I like to start by letting the viewing audience know that photography wasn't actually your first chosen career in life.
That's true.
Can you help us to understand what your original career was, and when did you, get the passion for photography?
Well, my original career was that of a court reporter. I retired from that from Supreme Court, and somewhere along the line, as I came through the ranks of the court system, one of the people that I met there, it was a co-worker, and she was into photography. Actually, she did underwater photography. And when she showed me her photos, I was just fascinated with what you can do with a camera underwater.
Okay.
And it took off. I can't even describe the feeling, but it just took off from there. I had to have a camera.
Okay.
And I remember she used Canon, so I became a Canon girl immediately. And after that, it just sort of took off. I was always in the camera store. I was always looking for something new and exciting to try. And as time went on, I just kept at it. I became known as the one with the camera. No matter what the event was, I was there with my camera.
Okay.
And I just loved it from there.
Yeah.
And still do.
You didn't take deep dives, though, did you?
Oh, absolutely not. I knew that wasn't going to be my forte, but I did then, and I still do enjoy having a camera in my hand.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I have one right now. It's right over there.
Okay, so does that mean that you're self-taught?
Absolutely. Just about everything I learned on my own, just from getting out there and doing, researching things. I mean, you can't do any better than just put everything you learn and you come across into practice. Right. You have to get out there and actually do it. And along the way, I've taken a course here and there, but for the most part, I am self-taught. Okay. And I've met some very nice people along the way who I've learned from also.
Okay, mentorship.
Mentorship, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, what are some of your proudest moments in photography? What are some of the either people, places, or things that you've captured and they made you proud when you saw what the end result was, and why?
Well, in life, like anything else, you have to take yourself out of your comfort zone every now and then. And I would say that one of my proudest moments was when a very close friend asked me to do her wedding. I've never been interested in wedding photography, but because she is such a good friend and twisted my arm, I decided to dive in. Okay. And I actually did her wedding. I studied up as much as I could on wedding photography and put into practice what I thought I'd learned. And actually, if I say so myself, I did a great job. Yeah. So that's one of my proudest moments.
Did you find that difficult? Because when I think about photography and having to be at a wedding, there's so much going on. There's so much dynamic. You have to know who to capture pictures of, the parents, the
yes.
Absolutely. Mom-in-law, the children.
There is what photographers usually refer to as a shot list. I mean, you just have to know what it is. Your technique is going to do the rest. You know what you know about taking photos is all you have to know is what's on that list. You have to know. You can't stop all the time to look at a list, so you have to know what you're doing. And so, just like I said before, being self-taught, I taught myself how to do that.
Yeah.
So it was easy enough for me to, and once you get going and everyone's sort of doing what they need, what you need them to do, it's easy enough. It's a lot of work, but you know, it was fun. You have to have that eye.
Capture the moment.
Absolutely.
When you see that there's a moment, you got to pay attention.
Absolutely.
To it. Yeah,
absolutely.
I get that. Yeah, I get that. So, do you have any things that you are aiming to do coming up?
Nothing in particular. I'm very much into fashion photography right now, so I sort of keep up with what's happening in the fashion world, and that world never sleeps. So there's always something going on. There's always an event. There's always a magazine party. You're going to see models. This is one of the things that I love about fashion. You don't have to chase people around to take their photos. I mean, when I first started with photography, I would always come into people, oh, I don't want my picture taken, but not in the fashion world. So, I mean, I sort of got into that, and I'm like, wow, I found my place. This is it. And so, and that's what I love about that.
Yeah.
So there's always something going on, and I'm never at a want, you know, for something to do when it comes to that. I just finished a fashion shoot, as a matter of fact, and that was another moment when I sort of took myself out of my comfort zone, but I jumped in there and did it anyway. And so I'm very happy with the results.
Speaking of the fashion industry, are you do you like shooting a certain models? Have you kind of leaned towards certain subject matters when it comes to certain models?
I'm just always, I mean, I like doing the shows because I'm just always trying to get that perfect shot when the models are coming down the runway. And there are some models that, you know, I particularly like to shoot. I've had some photos that I've done, and I've been very proud of the way they came out. So, yeah, but I'm always just looking for that perfect shot coming down the runway. Yeah.
And I know it's not just about taking the photo. I understand that it's a lot of work after you've taken the photo, where you have to spend time and perfecting it. And,
absolutely.
How is it really time consuming?
It's very time consuming because, and which I don't mind. Actually, I often think to myself that my prior profession trained me quite a bit to be able to just sit for hours and focus. And so I put that into my photography because that's what I had to do, you know, as a court reporter. I had to have a lot of focus. So I put that into my photography. I can sit and I can edit. Of course, there are those who say, you know, try to get it right the first time. Well, you don't always get it right the first time.
Right.
That's what editing is all about.
Yeah.
And so I have no problem sitting there, sitting at my computer. I edit. I look at the tones that I want to get, whether I want to crop something, if I think that it's going to look better. Absolutely. But it is time consuming, and I spend some time doing that.
Okay.
And once I'm happy with the results, I'm happy.
That's good. That's good. So I guess I can assume that fashion is one of your best types of things to shoot. But do you have a second runner-up? Do you like landscape?
Absolutely. Landscaping, and that's something that I would like to delve into a little more. With landscaping, for instance, you know, there are different filters that you can use to get different effects. I really want to get into some of that. So I'm looking forward to spending a little bit more time doing some landscape photography. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is off the cuff, but you know, I understand that there's a whole nother business for photography photography, once you've really mastered your craft and you're creating, and you create masterpieces with your photography. Have you ever thought about getting to the point where you can leverage it to certain organizations to be able to use for different, like say if there's like a construction site, a new building going up, and whoever the designers are with the buildings and wanting a certain photography art. Have you ever thought about getting into anything like that with your photography?
Well, I would say that I've thought about getting to real estate photography.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, what's better than a brand new home with beautiful furnishings in it? And some of these homes that you go into and the lighting is just right. I mean, yes, I've thought about that. But in terms of, that's another thing about landscape photography, which is part of what they call fine art photography. You take beautiful photos like that and blow them up, and you know, those are good for sales. So yes, that's something else that, you know, I could get into.
Okay, so I want to ask you a question. There's someone that wants to, you know, pick up a camera and start taking pictures of folks. Do you have advice for anyone who's venturing out? And I'm asking this question because I know in this day and age with cell phones and mobile cameras, people are just taking photographs and they're posting them everywhere, and it's losing the eye of a real photographer and what a real picture by a professional photographer should look like. So taking someone who just picks up a camera and just wants to start shooting because they're comparing to those, you know, the camera shots, what type of advice would you give someone who wants to go into photography?
To get into photography?
Yeah, from a professional standpoint.
I would say that you would have to, you know, I hear now that cell phone photography is getting better and better, but that's never going to satisfy me. First of all, get yourself what I call a real camera. And just get out there and do it.
Yeah.
And there are always events, free events, paid events. There's always something out there, somewhere that you can be, where people are going to appreciate your photography. Because, you know, there have been times when I've taken photos of people, and when they look at them, they're amazed. And I could tell the difference in what they see. They look at cell phone pictures and they look at what I've done. And it's like, wow, I can't believe I look like that in that photo. No, just get out there and do what you do. And as I said, there are always events and things going on where people can just take their cameras and get involved.
Okay.
And get involved.
All right. So wrapping up, I'm glad to hear you sharing this information. But before we do wrap up, I want to ask you, how can people get in touch with you if they want to, you know, connect with you because they need an event shot, or if they just want to see your work, how can they?
My work can be seen on Instagram at Elizabeth5906.
Okay.
And I'm Elizabeth Martin on Facebook.
Okay, Elizabeth5906 on the Instagram, and she's Elizabeth Martin on Facebook. You've heard it here. I'm Jill Foster, and you have been watching Pipe TV. Hi, you are tuned in to Pipe TV. I'm Jill Foster, and I have in the studio with me today Paterson, New Jersey's very own, born and bred comedic force, Miss Monique Latise. Recently, Monique has made history. She is the first African-American woman who has opened up her own comedy club. Monique's Comedy Club. Hi, Monique.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So congratulations.
Thank you.
It's been about a month, right?
A month this weekend.
Yes. And how's it going?
Whew. It's a great feeling. I know I'm in the right place.
Oh, that's great.
It's a lot of work. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I've been watching your hustle because we met, believe it or not, maybe like a little over 7 years ago.
Yes.
It was at a backyard movie event where we actually watched film in a backyard
Yes.
of a common friend's home. And that was my first time meeting you, and I've been connected with you ever since.
Yes.
And I have to tell you, I've been enjoying watching your journey from the outside and also, supporting you
Yes.
every chance that I can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you are known for the type of comedy that sort of marries together the church and the world, right?
Yes.
And it's based on your own personal story.
Yes.
So can you get into that and a little bit, and how you became a comedian as a result of your past personal story?
Yes, and I love that question because it reminds me of the goodness of God. I got into comedy because I was really depressed. I was very just at a point in my life where I was like, nothing is working out. My relationships are not working out. The kids, going through things with the kids. My marriage had broken up. I had issues with my parents. It was just like a dark cloud. And I was praying and asking God to just show me why He created me. I was feeling like, I was kind of hopeless. And I didn't like the way that felt. I knew that wasn't right. I knew that I wasn't in the right place.
Yeah.
So I began to pray and ask God to show me why He created me. And as soon as I began to pray and ask God to show me why He created me, He revealed that He created me to make people laugh through what I was going through. And at first I was upset about that. I was like, no. I was like, God, no. Because I've always loved entertainment. I thought I was going to be a singer. I used to be into rap. I used to battle rap. I used to dance hip hop. Like, I've always loved crowds.
Really?
But it was music. I didn't care if I was a record producer. I wanted to be in the music business. So when comedy started coming up, and I'm like, no, who wants to be on stage, standing there, telling all my business, having people laugh at me, then you're going to make people laugh. Like, I was like, no, thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
But God said, yes, that's exactly what I need you to do. So I used to go to this barbershop, and the guys in there used to always tease me about getting my hair cut. And I used to be like, running my gap and going back and forth with them. So one day the guy was like, you need to go on stage. And I was like, no. He was like, yeah, you do. So he set up a show. Booked me for the show.
Yeah.
I cried like you would not believe. Went to go talk to my pastor. I was like, Pastor, because you believe they want me to do comedy? My pastor was like, yes, you need to. And I was like, no, I don't. And I would cry for months about it. Because it was like something that stirred up in me that just wouldn't let me go. It was like, it haunted me.
Yeah.
And then finally my daughter says, Ma, I need you to stop crying, Google some open mics, and go do this comedy thing. And I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want. They're going to laugh at me. She's like, yeah, that's what we want them to do.
That's the point. Yeah.
So she Googled a couple of open mics, and it was the first day of school, 2010. My son was going through really bad behavior problems, and I just was like, I need an outlet. My daughter was like, just go, Ma. I'll take care of him. She was like 10 months older than him.
Yeah.
She was like, go take care of him, and I, do your comedy. I was like, you sure? You sure? Because it was like something that just stirred in me, and I knew once I started, it was going to be over.
That was it. But God is amazing. See how and that's how He speaks to you. You don't even know you are working your calling, until you can be in denial about it, but then He'll send His troop out and let you know you need to be on stage.
He shook me up like a war, like it was the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
And it was not a good feeling. I was upset. I was nervous. I was sad. My family didn't see me perform until probably about a year or two into comedy.
Wow.
I wouldn't let no one come to any of my shows. And if you text me and said that you were coming to one of my shows, I will probably send you a text back and say, you know what? No, thank you.
Oh, really?
I was embarrassed. Yeah, it was not.
Yeah, but now you have a big voice on the stage.
And it's still unbelievable.
Yeah.
It still shocks me till today.
And girl, you're funny.
Thank you.
You make me laugh.
Thank
You know what? Speaking of being where you came from in the comedy game, you actually did your own one-woman show, which I had the pleasure of attending a while ago. How did that come about?
Well, I have this strange desire to challenge myself. Don't ask me why. But I kind of feel like whenever you're working towards something, you should always put some fire under you.
Yeah.
So every year, I always challenge myself to do something big, whether it's audition for something major or just do my own one-woman show to see, have I grown? Am I doing the same jokes? You know, where do I need improvement? You know, are they laughing? Are they not laughing?
Right.
So I've always planned one-woman shows. I don't book anyone else. I just invite myself in the crowd and the microphone because I want to see what the reaction really is.
Yeah,
I wanted to
amazing.
See,
and
you know, people are really laughing, or are they just there to support me?
Yeah.
So
it was amazing, and not just from my mouth, but my sister joined me and a girlfriend who lived in the area where the show was held, Teaneck, New Jersey, and we all we just talked about it going back home. We just yap. I just, that's when I think that I said, this woman is amazing, because I can't see myself standing up in front of, you know, an audience as one person. But you are more than just a comedian too. You actually have started a foundation for the youth. You have the nature and a heart to want to give back and want to help those not make the same mistakes, if you will, or have the same issues that you dealt with.
Right.
So can you talk about the name of it and how that came about, when it was founded?
Yes, Young Stars Rock was founded in 2011. I started an organization in my community because I remember coming up, I wanted to be in hip hop, I wanted to be into dance, and I wasn't a good student. So my mother, you know, there wasn't really any organizations that helped children who weren't good students.
Yeah.
You know, so I wanted to provide a foundation where I can help kids that are not necessarily academically advanced, kids who just love the arts.
Yeah.
Because I kind of feel in my heart that, you know, everyone is not, you know, bred for school.
Right.
You know, I really, now that I look back on it, I think that I was kind of born for entertainment. I struggled academically.
Yeah.
And a lot of people gave up on me because of that. You know, I couldn't go to my high school prom because my mother was like, you don't do good in school. I'm not paying for it.
Yeah.
You know, I gave my mother a lot of headache with my grades and just not being able to pick up on certain things. I really struggled. And if I had let that stop me, I would not be where I am today.
Yes.
You know, it was entertainment that saved me. It was entertainment that encouraged me. It was entertainment that made me feel like I belong. And if I didn't have that, if I wasn't able to be, you know, dancing and rapping and singing, not that I could sing, but I just loved music so much. And even now when I do my comedy, I'm a sing on stage.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how it sounds, I'm a sing.
Yeah.
But that's that childhood, that's that child in me that always wanted to perform. So to me, entertainment saved my life. So I wanted to give other children that same platform.
Yeah.
I didn't want them to feel like, you know, we don't know any rappers, we don't know any comedians. Yeah, you do. Monique Latise, and she's right here.
Yeah, yeah, and that's amazing, because to teach the youth that, you know, you may not be good in school, you may not be good in history, algebra, but you have a gift.
Yes.
And we all have unique thumbprints, and you just need to kind of embrace who you are and follow whatever it is that's in your heart, that desire in your heart, because that could be your trajectory to lead you down that journey where you're supposed to be, the whole purpose of you being born and what you're. So that's amazing. I think it's, you know, admirable that you are supporting the youth. And so, what type of events do you hold with the youth?
we do I do a mentor program for 2 months out of a year. I mentor them once a week and just teach them how to do interviews, teach them how to compete against each other. I teach them how to stage presence and how to, how to believe in yourself when everything around you says no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's like the really most important thing, because kids can be cruel with one another.
Yes.
They laugh at each other, now bullying. So I want to teach children how to perform even when everyone in the room feels like you don't deserve to be there.
Are any of them, do you see the comedic gene in any of them? Would you mentor
yes.
children in that realm?
I had a young kid, and from the minute I saw him, I knew that he had the ability to do stand-up. He was very shy, because most comedians are like kind of cuckoo, strange.
Yeah, very strange birds, yeah.
And it's tough, because sometimes, and I could be very strange, and it's hard because I'm an outgoing person, but I'm very shy, believe it or not. And I don't really like to be overwhelmed and bombarded. So I have to, get used to that.
Yeah.
If it was up to me, I'll just sit in the corner and just be creative and just come out when it's time to perform and then go back into my shell. But people won't allow you to do that, especially when you're a local, and they consider you to be a local star. They won't, I could be shopping, cranky, feeling like crap, and people run up on me, oh my God, it's you. Can I take a picture? And I'll be like, it's who?
Back off.
not back off, but I'm like, who do you see?
Yeah.
Like, what do you, and I have to get used to that.
Yeah.
So I want to teach children, how to walk in their season.
Yeah.
Because nobody teaches you that. Nobody shows you that. So a lot of times, people think that a lot of celebrities are antisocial when they were never taught, simple etiquette.
Right.
So I like to teach, children how to sign autographs, all that stuff that you don't think about.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I know that there's no I in team, and you need a team to make things work. Is there anybody that is staffed or working with you at your Monique's Comedy Club that you want to shout out?
I have an amazing club manager. Her name is Michonne. She is the bomb.
Okay.
She handles everything from, cleaning to getting the comedians together to just the general operation of events. She's amazing. Her name is Michonne.
Okay, shout out to Michonne.
Yes. I couldn't do it without her at all.
Is there anything else that I didn't touch upon already that you just want to say before we wrap up?
Let's see. No, I think we touched on everything.
Okay.
I'm just happy to be able to be, to open up the first black comedy club in New Jersey.
Yes.
That's huge to me. And then I think as a female comedian, we don't often get the platform.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't think females are funny.
Yes.
So for me to be counted in this race means everything to me.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. So let folks know how they can reach out to you, how they can come to Monique's Comedy Club and get some laughs.
Okay, so I'm at 301 Main Street, Paterson, New Jersey, Center City Mall. You can find me on social media, Monique Latise Comedy Club. You can find me my personal Instagram, Monique Latise, and on Facebook, it's Monique's Comedy Club.
It's been a pleasure having you here.
The pleasure is mine.
Okay. You've been tuned in to Pipe TV. I'm Jill Foster, your host, and I'll see you next time.